Alright guys, this is going to be the Zero DSRX. By the way, I'm going to reference these little slots here in the video a little bit later. So, 2023 DSRX. This bike is a lot of fun. It's part of their premium lineup. They are pretty much doing adventure bikes now, and the any model that starts with a D is going to be in this kind of body style. So you have the DS, the DSR, and the DSRX, and that's what this one is the DSRX. So this is the top of the line big boy. With the premium bikes, these guys come with 17.3 kilowatt hours of battery. That is at its 110% charge. So basically the DSR shares the same amount of range in kilowatt hours at its upgraded amount, because that's a 15.6 over there. Whoa, Mr. Camry. Nobody drives a car faster than a Porter, I'll tell you that. But so the DSRX, all electric, obviously a ton of torque, easy acceleration on the highway. I mean, absolutely no worries, zero worries. You're gonna absolutely smoke pretty much anything off the line getting onto a highway. It's very similar to like a Tesla, instant torque. And as far as highway goes, this is the windscreen at its lowest point. You can go ahead and rotate this up a bit, give you some more wind protection. It also has cruise control, which funny enough is the button placement of this is probably my only complaint, but small potatoes. There's this cruise control on. And so it gives me a good chance to talk about the comfort of this bike. Very, very smooth on the highway. It's comfortable. The suspension's got some long travel. And again, as far as keeping yourself safe on the highway and needing to accelerate around people, you will pretty much never find someone that is outside of a sport car that can out accelerate you in a moment's notice. It's just so instant and so quick, you know. So it makes this bike a lot of fun. The suspension is also very, very good on this bike. Now let's talk about weight and charge. So the weight on this bike, if you look it up, is slightly getting there, but it is all about where the weight is balanced in the chassis on these bikes. The weight is very central, and that's the battery is a huge percentage of its total gross weight. So you can feel the bike rotating around that, and add that to the good suspension, everything turns into a very, very maneuverable bike, besides the weight, or even regardless of the weight, I should say. Now charge. I've been in sport mode. You guys got to see how the range got affected from riding a couple miles on the highway, nice and fun in sport mode. Now in eco mode, what it does is it reduces your throttle response a little bit, so you're not leaving all your range at every stoplight. And believe me, it's addicting. So it is good for the bike to do that, or else I would be just gassing it off at every stoplight, because it is so quick. Another thing it does is it increases your regenerative braking, which of course gets more of the range back. It makes it a very different riding style than most people are used to. Imagine having a ton of engine brake when you let off the throttle. That's what eco mode normally feels like. It is all adjustable through the Zero Next Gen app, so if you have any complaints about how that's laid out, you can fix it yourself. So range, this bike will get anywhere from, as low as 55-60 miles if you're riding this thing at 100, something crazy. I'm giving you the absolute worst case scenario, but best case scenario, average, let's say, we're sitting around 100 to 110 mixed use, right, all the way down to 85 if you're starting to pick up the speed a little bit, but maybe you're not too crazy, more like 85 miles an hour cruise speed, long range on the highway. That's kind of what we're looking at, about 80 miles, maybe 90. If you stick it in eco mode the whole time, then we're getting closer again to that 95, maybe 100 if there's some city thrown in there. City range, this bike will get all the way up to 160 miles, close to 200 in eco mode only. This bike is also equipped with the canyon mode, which is basically going to give it a more natural feeling engine brake. So that means when you're coming into that corner on the canyons, you know, you're not expecting a certain amount of engine brake and you get another. This bike is very comfortable on the side of its tire. I'm not the best and fastest rider in the world, but I have got some people on sport bikes on this bike in the corners. This does have, like, I dare I say this, but like multi-strada level performance for the weights. If this bike weighed as much as a multi-strada, I'd be terrified of how well this thing would turn. So overall, these bikes are an absolute blast. What I was mentioning with the slots in the rotor earlier, or at the very beginning of this video, is those little slots are meant to kick out any dirt and debris that gets caught up in the belt, which is a good thing to mention. This bike is belt drive, no oil, no valve services, no transmission, so you don't need to worry about clutches, gas, oil, valves. Basic maintenance on this bike are brakes, tires, brake fluid. You're also looking at obviously suspension components, but those are pretty long intervals. So overall, maintenance is great on these bikes. If you haven't ridden one, come give it a try. Thank you.